To flee or not to flee, that is the question. Welcome back to the Savage Nation. And the question everyone is asking is, how did a conservative justice appointed by George Bush wind up joining the most radical justices in history? Never forget that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was put here by Republicans, including that fool from Utah who was just reelected, Orrin Hatch, and that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had been the former lead counsel for the anti-American ACLU. And never forget that Sotomayor has no qualifications whatsoever to render her a Supreme Court justice. Kagan has no qualifications to lead her to the Supreme Court. How did Roberts wind up joining them is the question people of intelligence are asking right now. Well, there are many opinions. One is the Godfather opinion, which is that they got him in some compromised situation. They have it on tape, and they're blackmailing him. I don't know if that could be true or not. I have no way to know such things, nor can we even speculate on such an issue. However, what we can speculate on is what we do know. And we do know that he has a seizure disorder. We do know that in 2007, the New York Times wrote a quasi-smear piece on Roberts, August 1st, 2007, where they were saying that the drugs for epilepsy that he would be taking or was taking could result in mental slowing and forgetfulness. Now, why would they write such a thing? After all, liberals never attack anyone with a condition, nor do they ever question anyone on drugs. Why, Roberts? Because they were afraid that he would be too conservative, and they were setting him up for a possible impeachment down the line. But now that he's proven to be a good water boy for the Bilderbergs and the New World Order and the international socialist agenda, you're not going to hear much about that. In fact, you're going to hear me attacked. They're going to attack Michael Savage. They're going to make me into the devil for even asking the question as to what my drugs do to a person's thinking. Now, I will tell you that people are coming at this from different points of view, and that Michael Savage says Robert's epilepsy medication affects his cognition, has hit it on the big board. It's made it up to the Drudge Report. And the Drudge Report is flashing back to the New York Times article I just referred to. Quote, Robert's drugs can have troubling side effects, mental slowing, and forgetfulness. So it hit the big board, which means it's going to be discussed. We all know it's the biggest tax increase in history. We all know that this is an act of desperation on the part of Roberts. The question is why? And the only answer I can come up with is either he's compromised or he's not logical, and he may not be logical because of medication. And now I'll open it up to you, because people are saying to me, we are now Venezuela, or becoming Venezuela, and we're on the way to becoming Castro's Cuba. And I ask you, the most intelligent woman I know in the world asked me only one question today, dispassionately. She said, who will pay for this? Does anyone have an answer for this? Who will pay for the fraud, waste, and corruption that Nancy Pelosi is celebrating? Who? Who is going to pay for the fraud, waste, and corruption that we know is going to geometrically expand in the medical system in this country? We all know about the fraud, waste, and corruption in this country. We know it whether it be one department or another department, but we know that the medical system is perhaps the most rife with fraud, waste, and corruption, because people are unlikely to attack anyone who takes a drug or says they're sick. But we know that there are Medicare mills being busted in Florida, pill mills being broken in Florida, Medicare mills being busted in Florida. But we know that Medicare mills have never been doing as well as they are today under Jerry Brown in California. We know that for some reason the federal government has a hands-off policy with regard to the Medicare mills in Chinatown, up on Stockton Street next to the North Beach restaurant, which any sixth grader with a video camera can go to and take pictures of people who were just off the boat, illegal, here getting free medical care for their grandfather, grandmother, great-grandfather, great-grandfather, great-grandmother, infants. They bring them in hordes in and out of that clinic. People know that. They laugh about it in North Beach. They know about it in New York. They know about it in Brooklyn. They know which immigrant group came to America and destroyed the medical system in New York City. Everybody in New York knows who did that, but apparently the federal government doesn't. So now we have this cancer of fraud, corruption, and waste in the medical system already. Are you telling me that under Obamacare, the fraudsters who have never had it so good are going to suddenly become honest? Or the government that is so inept is suddenly going to become capable of controlling these gangs that are destroying America with their corruption? See, if you use common sense, you realize that Obama has just driven a stake into the heart of America.